Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and today I'm going to be reviewing
Dragon's Lair, the fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. You control the actions of a daring adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dark wizard who has enchanted it with treacherous monsters and obstacles. In the mysterious caverns below the castle, your odyssey continues against the awesome forces that oppose your efforts to reach the Dragon's Lair. Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.
wow, I can't say I've ever reviewed a game that reviewed itself within the game. So, what I'm about to review, a little history lesson. The original Dragon's Lair was released in 1983 for the arcades. It had a very amazing art style for its time. It played exactly like a Disney cartoon would, and it was even animated by Don Bluth, whom I'm pretty sure a lot of you know as one of the former Disney animators. And so it's been ported to the Wii and the DSi, to my knowledge. If there are others out there, I don't know about them. I happened to pick up the DSiWare version because it was cheap and I had a gift card. And quite honestly, after what I played, I would say that even though I haven't played the Wii version, the mere fact that it has button prompts immediately makes it the preferred choice. So, you might be asking, okay, Paul, well, what exactly is Dragon's Lair in the first place? Well, as you obviously heard in the glorious 1983 review of it, you're a dashing knight trying to save the princess. But the game involves playing through the cartoon sequences by pressing any of the directional buttons on the control pad or the A or B button to swing your sword. So essentially you have 5 options to proceed. So you're essentially playing out a cartoon. It sounds like a cool concept, and for the most part it is. The problem is that oftentimes it's counterintuitive which direction you have to press or whether you should swing your sword or not. And even if you know exactly when to press it, sometimes it's not always clear to the game, like, I'm pressing the button, why isn't anything happening? And then on a second run through it'll work fine, and then on a third run through it won't work at all. In addition, the game doesn't have a save feature, and even though it's ridiculously short, so it probably doesn't need one, if you're having a lot of trouble on a particular room, because the game goes by rooms, you don't have to start the entire game over like I presume the arcade version did. The game is at least fairly forgiving on its saves, with the exception of the final battle, which is just brutal. But yeah, if you mess up one of your action commands, they actually have a unique death sequence for every single possible way you could die, which I guess is kind of cool technologically speaking, but also slightly disturbing for a game only rated E10. And a lot of times I found that guessing was the primary way of getting me through the rooms as opposed to actual skill. Now, there are options to make it slightly easier in case the arcade version is too daunting. Like, you can play home mode so that you get the additional moat scene, and it's also slightly easier. I say slightly, just barely, because the game took me much longer than it should have to beat. Then they also give you the opportunity to have unlimited lives, and if you enable it, it'll still say that you have 5 lives, but you get infinite continue. So what's even the point of having that option? They also give you a way to post your high score, but honestly, who's ever going to look at it? We're not in the age of the internet anymore. So, Dragon's Lair was a great game to look at, with the exception of that girl at the end that looked like something from a Playboy magazine. I'm Catholic, so I'm probably the only person on the internet that's going to say that I hated that scene, especially re-watching it over and over again every time I failed, and the voice actress was just awful. Like, I'm known for being very generous for voice acting in video games, but even this game I can't forgive. Especially since it came out in 1983. They had 2 decades to try to fix the audio, and they did nothing. Thankfully, at least the visuals are, for the most part, intact, although occasionally there can be slight blurriness or quick frame changes, but otherwise it's definitely the most visually appealing and best presented DS game I've ever played. Gameplay-wise, it's definitely frustrating, especially without the button prompts that the Wii version has, but if you can manage to tackle your way through a relatively short quest in hindsight, it's definitely worth trying out for a bit. Just don't try it out on the DSiWare version. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. If there's any questions I can answer, please let me know. And until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, and God bless. Bye.